Hello, everybody. The freelance teacher, your intellectual strength coach, with you again, talking about sports a little bit. I did this video cast earlier and I got interrupted by a phone call, so I'm not at the stage where I know how to make it so that I don't get interrupted. So hopefully this one works all the way, because I want to get this out there, because I think I am, for the first time, not stealing anybody's idea, but actually having an original idea for the first time, maybe ever. And it's the idea of this LeBron. It has come up because of this idea of this LeBron James, Michael Jordan debate. Now, this has come up because the Cavaliers lost. They got swept by the Golden State Warriors, and LeBron James, although he has been to 8 straight finals and 9 finals in total, has won 3 finals and lost 6. So one of the things that comes up with this LeBron James versus Jordan deal is who's better and what are the criteria and what are people talking about. And it brought me back to actually the LeBron James ideas I've had in the past, which is you're going to get to the point where, and a person could make the case now that LeBron James is the best player in the history of the NBA. Now, it gets impossible to talk this way simply because the eras are different. How do you compare Wilt Chamberlain in 1959 completely dominating the NBA and LeBron James in 2018? How are you going to do that? I don't know how you do that, right? You got to have the idea of LeBron in 2018 against worldwide competition, 30 teams, versus Wilt Chamberlain in 1959. I think there were 12 teams. Even that's a guess. There might have been 8. And a very small group of Americans playing basketball. Right, so Wilt Chamberlain comes into the NBA, averages 37 points or whatever it was, and 19 rebounds, something like that. How do you match those two? So if you look at just the numbers, it doesn't quite work. But LeBron James is doing something with numbers that is unique. And I remember being a young person in the 80s, and the Almanac had a list of people who had over 10,000 points, and it had a list of people who had over 10,000 rebounds. Now, those lists have gotten bigger. Back then, the list of 10,000 rebounds, there were 3 columns of somewhere around maybe 10 in a column, maybe 13, 12 in a column, over 10,000 rebounds in your career. This is probably 1988. I'm talking about 87. Those numbers, of course, have gotten a lot bigger. And so what happens is the statistical milestones have not necessarily become easier, but they become more populated. Over 10,000 points, lots of people have gotten that. So now we're at the stage where the third column, or the third stat, assists, is, over 10,000. When I was reading this stuff, when I was a numbers person, a statistics person, I missed my calling, actually, with all this metric stuff. I could have been rich. I could have been somebody. But the statistics stuff I was looking at, over 10,000 assists, back then the number was 0. Oscar Robertson was leading the assist list with 9,800 and change assists. Well, now I think there are 5 people where you've got over 10,000. Jason Kidd, you've got Stockton leading the way, Mark Jackson, Steve Nash. I might be forgetting one other person. We'll see. A few others will get there eventually. But even they are going to be kind of close. Well, here's the thing when it comes to LeBron James. Right? So we're talking 10,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, 10,000 assists. The assist guys, only Kidd was even in shouting distance of 10,000 rebounds, right? He got 10,000 assists, 10,000 points. Grant Hill maybe had a chance at 10,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, 10,000 assists, but he got hurt. LeBron James, the way it looks, if he does 4 more seasons the way he's been doing it, he'll be the first person ever to have 10,000, 10,000, 10,000 points, rebounds, and assists in the history of the NBA. And it probably, in our lifetimes, he'll be the only one. Simply because classically your guards are getting the assists, they're not rebounding. Even Kidd was an anomaly. I want to say he approached 7,000 or 8,000 rebounds. I want to say that. I mentioned Grant Hill earlier. He was a triple-double machine for a while, but then he got hurt, right? Hill, on the regular, was doing 500 assists, 700 and change rebounds, and 20 points with the Pistons. Look at the early days with those Detroit Pistons. He and Allen Houston were making it work. I even mentioned Wilt Chamberlain. But Chamberlain was, 40 points, 18 rebounds, and he decided to lead the assists in one year, and did in the actual number of assists. I think he had over 700 assists one year, just to show that he could do it. He was that kind of guy where they're like, oh, you're only a scorer. And he's like, no, I can do more than score and rebound. Watch. But he did that, and then, he went on to other projects, 20,000 projects. And so it's one of these things where LeBron James is in the discussion, I think, now for best player in the history of the NBA. And you put Jordan in that discussion as well. I don't know if you can compare the two. I don't know how you do this Jordan versus LeBron thing. They're different players. They're different kinds of scorers. I don't know. I don't like the LeBron James, Michael Jordan comparison. But, hey, that's my spiel. 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. You heard it here first. It looks like my phone is overheating, so I'm going to end this. And I'll talk to you next time. Sports news, sports stats. You get everything you want here at The Freelance Teacher.